So what do you do, good people? You know, it's that time when I just speak about nothing else but books, books and books and books and books and more books. So today we're going to speak about another book, as you know. This book is actually a special book because it's not a book. It's a prayer book. It's a book full of prayers. So it's called the Calendar of Ancestral Prayers, which was written, I believe, by Kolunzingisa and the Zinzi Mandela Foundation. So yeah, man, it's just a book that guides you on what to and how to pray as you go through the months, as you go through the seasons. So some of you may call it months, some of you may call it star signs like Taurus or whatever. Some of you might call it the royal calendar. So it's up to you what you call it. But indeed it guides you on how to pray, which incense to burn, on which month and which season or which age, and so on and so forth. So for instance, we are in the age of Osar, and luckily we are going to have Mkhuluntsingiswa come to our local community hall to come and teach about the age of Osar in person. So this is really an interesting month for us. So yeah, you can come to the Cruton Community Hall on the 7th of October to come and actually witness Mkhulu go through the content in much depth, and I guess in a much more profound way than I can ever do, because I mean he's someone who has spent a lot of years with this information, clearly. But it seems like the signs keep following me. It's like it's like the algorithm is not only studying me. It's like even the whole universe is studying me. So I went to go see Mahavatar's play called The Blacksmith at the what do you call this place? The Market Theater on Thursday. I went there with my friend Sviso Nyawa and his nephew. We went there to go see this play, and funny enough, some of the references that I found in this book actually, were sort of like there in Mahavatar's play. I picked up a lot of, what I've been reading about in the Sacred Magic of Egypt, and the last book, which is Stolen Legacy by Professor James. Is that for instance, references like Nomkubulwane and Mvelingangi actually I picked up from Mahavatar's play, and it was interesting. I mean, he referenced the spring equinox, which is, in scientific terms, what happens when the sun moves from the northern hemisphere down to the southern hemisphere, and therefore now we are in direct contact with the sun, and we are getting the energy of the sun. Much richer. It's much richer because it's now closer to us. And it's pointed at us now, and therefore, it's a very special time for a lot of people, especially within the African conscious community, and they celebrate it as our New Year. And so Mahavatar actually starts his play like that. This place, the play starts around 23rd September type of thing in a setting, and so it was really interesting to see that. But also, it seems like the algorithm is studying me, because just today, before I shoot this video, I ran into a post by Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is an astrophysicist. And Neil deGrasse Tyson actually reveals, or basically, I guess I would say, affirms, but validates what Professor George actually was talking about on the Stolen Legacy book. That mathematics, I mean, Pythagoras actually learned mathematics from the Greek, from the Egyptians. Yeah. So Pythagoras actually existed around 400 something BC, and like I said, the Egyptian sacred mysteries have existed for more than 1,500 years to about 4,000 years, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson. They existed about 1,500 years ago, to 3,000. And according to Professor James, it's that they existed from around 3,500 BC to about 4,000 BC. So there isn't a lot of difference. I think they are really within the same period. and therefore they can't be lying. I mean, these are both professors, right? And therefore, if we are going to seek good sources, Neil deGrasse Tyson is actually a great source. So he proves that actually Pythagoras learned from the Egyptian Greeks. And he learned from the likes of Theodosius and Thales, who learned from the Egyptian priests. He didn't learn directly from, I think, from the Egyptians, but he actually did go to Egypt at some point, even he himself, according to the stolen legacy. So it seems like actually mathematics dates back, because nobody really understands how the Egyptians built, the pyramids, but they don't, because the pyramids as we know them are very geometric. It's mathematics, man. Trigonometry and algebra were applied to build the pyramids. So it's really a mystery as to how the Egyptians, managed that. I'm sorry. There's a fly on my food. Let me just. So like I said, it seems like the information is slowly coming out. The likes of Plato, the likes of Socrates, the likes of who was the last one? Socrates, Plato, and Pythagoras even. But there's another one. There's one I'm forgetting. But these guys actually learned from the Egyptians, guys. They learned from Egyptians. So Greek philosophy as we know it today definitely is not of Greek origin. It's actually Egyptian. I know what it means for us as African or Southern Africans, but then that's something that we will probably, unravel as we go forward, because apparently rumor has it that the Southern African people actually descended or basically migrated from the north. So I don't know. It's something, because except for the queer people, with the queer and the San people, all of us, the Xhosas, the Zulus, all of these other tribes actually descended from the north, coming down. Something that I still need validation on. I don't know it, to the depth. But then Mahavatar's play was so powerful, guys. I think I urge people to go see this play. It will still be running up to the 8th of October. So anybody who still wants to go see the play can go see the play. Just organize with your people and go check it out, man. You won't go wrong. I'm telling y'all. You know what I'm saying? So the play was so powerful for me, in a sense, Mahavatar really used beautiful metaphor and parables to actually send a message. And so he was not trying to be direct in terms of, I guess the content of the show. He was trying to, speak in a soft way. He keeps referring to the people who told stories. And therefore he uses a story to actually address this, using, animals, to speak, to your conscience, I guess. Which is how actually, a lot of African stories were told. Folklore stories are told, from an animal perspective, using animal characteristics to address, certain things. I think it's a beautiful way, of telling a story, because you don't insult other people. You really tell the story in a respectful way, but then the truth is still sent across. It's put across, and whoever has an ear will catch it. I still feel offended because there's certain aspect of the play that I'm not really satisfied about, but well, it's a story, right? It's supposed to leave you guessing. It's supposed to leave you thinking. And apart from that, man, I feel like the story was a beautiful story, which speaks, to us as African people to actually look inside, to look within, to look at the way we see things, and actually, really, really embrace who we are. Our rituals, the way we pray, all of this, is actually adds to the fabric of who we are. It's not something we should throw away. I was watching a movie yesterday called Ip Man, and that's what happens in Ip Man. Ip Man is fighting in a Chinese style against Western style, and he wins. And this is exactly what it is. It's like, one of the masters says, when one of the students says no, but you don't have to fight this man, the Englishman in Ip Man, and this master says, if I don't do it, then I am not Chinese, and these are some of the things that you find in Chinese movies and everything like that you find elements of who they are, elements of their cultures, elements of their rituals in their stories, and these stories drive the confidence in the people who watch them, and the confidence their confidence in the Chinese man or the Chinese people, you understand, and this gives them more value in the world. And if you look at China right now, China is doing really well, as a nation, as a people, and I think maybe, just maybe, if we go back to our ways and actually pick up where we left off and actually do how African people do, then we will. But in the story, Mahavatar actually shows just how people will deny. And in fact, I mean, he goes back to, the story of the chosen one. I mean, the character is actually chosen. Totoki, so which actually is a Soto word that means I think poetry. Is it poetry? No. That's not poetry. Totoki, so I think it's a story, right? Yeah, Totoki is about poetry. So these are people who tell stories, who are chosen, within their tribes to actually tell stories. And this is something that I think I resonate with, is that a lot of the of the content as it's driven onto us is driven in such a way that it shows us that maybe all of us should be this type of person, but that's not true. There is a chosen person who is bestowed with the strength, the ability, the knowledge, the know-how, the ears, the sight, to see these things. Some of us have never seen ghosts. Some of us have never seen witches. Some of us, we have never experienced these things. It's not by mistake. It's maybe because we are not meant to see these things, and there are people who are meant to be custodians of these things, or custodians of the culture, who have to drive the envelope properly. You understand? And I think that's what we need to go into. That there are people who are going to be custodians of the culture. And Mahavatar really makes it very sad, though, because this guy ends up isolated. But see, the isolation, is part of the thing, because then in order for you to, receive the information as pure as it comes, then you cannot be be engaging with a lot of people. But in a way, I also see a lot of Mahavatar in that. He's a very deep guy. And I understand where he's coming from. And I resonate with the story to an extent, But it's really hard, man, to be a custodian of the culture, a custodian of the people, or a leader in your own right. It comes with a lot of packs. And then not all of us are really given the strength. And that's what I wonder. Is everyone in the conscious community a chosen one? Because then that's different. Who's supposed to save these people? Are the people going to be saved? Because even in the play, right, this guy, his journey goes. Because Mahavatar actually has a quote in that story. He's like, should I say it? No, I think I'll keep it. If you want to hear it, this quote, you should go. But it speaks to how the path actually, becomes a bit complicated for those types of people. And that's what I wonder, where is the great empire Kemet going to end? Where is it going? I mean, this all started with Vusamazulu, Ubabu Credo. And look at what the great empire has grown into. The knowledge is slowly spreading, it's slowly seeping into the consciousnesses of the people. And it's interesting to watch. Let's see what the next 10 years will have for us in store. And the likes of Mahavatar, which I look at as like our own Mel Gibson. He doesn't look at the world the same. He doesn't look at it from the sight of the ordinary production team that produces plays, or plays like Mhlambe Pantula plays, or or just a lot of soapies, or just you know, your typical drama where you know there's gonna be a criminal who steals car. This guy is really the ascendant. He lives up to the name. It's interesting to watch. You know, both Mahavatar and the great Empire of Kemet, as to where they're gonna stretch their wings and how far can they take this, and where will this message actually end, and what will it bring with it. I'm really curious to see. I hope I live to up to like 50 years, and I can come back to these videos and really, you know, review them, you know, as I go through this journey, and you know, of watching these people grow into themselves and becoming their best selves. But isn't that why we live after all? It's just to live up to our own potential and become our best selves. And that's what I took from the play. That's what I took from the book and the books that I've read, and Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I'm yet to see, because I was supposed to have interviewed Kamako, who is, you know, a great member of the Empire of Kemet. But then I couldn't, because I had an opportunity this week to go do something. And so I had to go do that thing. So I put it off. No, not that he knows. I didn't communicate with you. I was wrong, and I take full responsibility for that. But I will interview him after. I think it's a good thing also, because I will interview him after, you know, Mkhulu Ntsingisa's talk, and then I guess the talk will have more depth, and then we'll put it on you know, on the Earread Project YouTube channel, and you can watch it anytime you want and hear what these people have to say. You know, you might just have a change of heart. You might just realize that this world and how we have been seeing life all this time is not as necessarily how it should be. Probably not, you know, but it's up to you, as always. You make the decisions. Peace and love, 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 peace and love. Stay strong.